Today, we're diving into a story that is so cinematic, so medically shocking, it's honestly going to completely redefine how you look at the mind-body connection. We're going to unpack exactly how our thoughts literally dictate our biology, and more importantly, how you can actually harness that power yourself. It's a pretty intense journey, but I promise, by the end of this, you're going to realize just how much control you truly have over your own physical reality. Let's get right into it.
So we're starting off in June of 2007 in Amsterdam. Picture a totally normal, sun-drenched Sunday. It's the kind of day you'd honestly just forget by Tuesday, right? You've got white linen curtains catching the breeze from the garden, birds are chirping, it's perfectly idyllic. We meet Anne. She's a board member at a massive psychiatric institution, just sitting in her favorite chair, trying to read a medical journal while her kids are splashing around in the pool. Now, her husband had left that morning without saying a word, but, she just figured he'd be back soon.
Well, the warmth of that perfect afternoon just completely vanished at exactly 3:30 p.m. The whole vibe of her life shifted from this warm, golden Sunday to just cold and sterile. Two police officers showed up at her front door. They looked at her and simply asked, "Are you Mrs. Williams?" And then they delivered the absolutely shattering news. Her husband had jumped from the city's tallest building. In a single second, all those peaceful sounds, the birds, her daughter singing, they were just gone, replaced by this deafening, hollow silence.
Which brings us to Section 1, the biological cage, how grief weaponizes the body. Now, being a psychiatric professional, Anne actually knew exactly what was happening inside her brain. But here's the terrifying part. She was totally powerless to stop it, because she just kept replaying the trauma in her mind over and over, agonizing over whether she was a bad wife. Her sympathetic nervous system got stuck. That's your basic fight-or-flight response, right? It was constantly triggered. Her body was just being flooded with stress chemicals, completely shifting all her energy away from normal cellular healing and pushing it into pure survival mode. She was literally trapped in a biological alarm system that wouldn't shut off.
So here is the really crucial takeaway. Her body couldn't tell the difference between the actual traumatic event in the past and her constant memory of it in the present. Because of this, her body aggressively rebelled. Fast forward 9 months, she wakes up completely paralyzed from the waist down from neuritis and autoimmune response. And this severe stress just kept compounding. She developed these agonizing esophageal ulcers, making it impossible to swallow solid food. And then by January, the ultimate devastating blow: terminal esophageal cancer. Her mental loop had literally manifested into a fatal biological reality.
And on top of all this physical torment, her entire life was just collapsing around her. She lost her job. She found out her husband had left behind massive hidden debts that she was now on the hook for. And to fight the cancer, she had to endure the absolute agony of chemotherapy. One day, after dropping her kids at school following her very first round of chemo, she walked into her house and just completely collapsed on the kitchen floor, weeping in the shadows. She had hit absolute rock bottom.
Section 2, Rock Bottom and Awakening. Choosing the path of supernature. Lying there in the dark on her kitchen floor, something incredible happened. Her deep despair suddenly collided with this unwavering resolve to survive for her kids. She actually offered up this desperate, incredibly sincere prayer. "If you get me out of this, I promise to live every remaining day with absolute gratitude and help others do the same." Right then and there, she shifted her focus entirely away from the tragedies of her past. She locked it dead on to the exact future she wanted to create. What she did next completely shocked everyone. Her doctors, her family, they literally couldn't believe it. She canceled her conventional treatments. No more chemo, no more steroids. Instead, she turned inward. She started attending workshops by Dr. Joe Dispenza, diving headfirst into epigenetics. If you aren't familiar, that's basically the science of how our thoughts and emotions can literally, physically alter our genetics and body chemistry.
Section 3, the impossible transformation, rewiring a shattered biology. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't some sudden magical cure. What followed was a grueling, incredibly unglamorous daily fight. She meditated twice a day, every single day. She did walking meditations. She used intense breathing techniques to calm her automated nerve centers. And here is the kicker, you guys. For 1 full year, she saw absolutely zero physical results. Nothing. Her family was calling her reckless, she felt sick, she was plagued by doubt. But she kept going. She knew that decades of biological conditioning and severe stress couldn't just be wiped out in a couple of weeks.
The timeline of her recovery is just mind-blowing. Okay, so tragedy strikes in 2007, paralysis in 2008, but jump to 2012. During this deep meditation in New York, she suddenly has this profound vision of herself completely healthy, speaking to a huge crowd. And then, in 2013, 6 full years after the trauma began, medical scans confirmed what seemed impossible. The tumor was completely gone, her blood was clean. She even reclaimed her real name, Anneke Bunders, finally stepping out of the pseudonym she'd been hiding behind. And by 2016, she founded her own therapy institution to help other people do exactly what she did.
Section 4. 5 Lessons for Life. Applying Anneke's Breakthrough.
Which brings us to Lesson 1. Ask sincerely. Notice how her recovery didn't start with some new medical protocol or a magic pill. It started with the very simple, deeply humble act of asking the universe for the exact outcome she wanted. When you hit your absolute lowest point, you have to stop hyper-focusing on the evidence of your loss. You have to humbly and sincerely ask for the specific future you want to build.
Lesson 2. Break the pattern. Remember how we talked about that fight or flight response earlier? Your body literally cannot tell the difference between a stressful memory and a real, present threat happening right now. If you constantly replay your past trauma like a movie in your head, your body is just going to keep pumping out the toxic chemicals of that exact stressful event. You absolutely have to break that mental loop if you want to stop the biological damage.
Lesson 3 is a tough one because it really challenges our ego. Change your identity. Do not believe everything you think. We so often mistake our repetitive, painful thoughts for our actual personality, right? Like, we think our trauma is who we are. But you have got to realize that you are completely separate from the tragedies that have happened to you. You have to stop identifying as the victim of your past so you can actually become the creator of your future.
Lesson 4. Don't take it personally. This was a massive, massive hurdle for Anneke. She spent years agonizing over whether she was a bad wife, basically taking the blame for her husband's suicide. But listen to this. Other people's actions are a reflection of their own internal struggles. They are not a reflection of your worth. When she finally realized his tragic choice wasn't some indictment of her value, she was able to take back the steering wheel of her own destiny.
And finally, Lesson 5. The Power of Habit. That miraculous, clean medical scan she got in 2013, that wasn't from one weekend workshop. It was the quiet and visible compounding of thousands of disciplined daily meditation sessions. Even when she was exhausted, even when everyone doubted her. True mind-bending transformation is really just the compounding result of small, repeated daily choices over a long period of time.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought for our explainer today. We've seen undeniable proof of it in Anneke's story. Your mind truly commands your biology. So, if your deepest, darkest thoughts have the power to manifest real, tangible physical illness, what incredible, vibrant reality could you build by changing your thoughts today? The power is literally entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me, and I highly encourage you to start rewiring your reality right now.